Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach season 2024, and it's going to be the round 8 preview where there is a couple of big moves to be made. A couple of exciting trades to make. So we'll we'll go down the list. We'll go down the squad. As you can see, we got 690k in the bank. We only got 31 trades remaining. I keep saying it, but we need to start. The saving of trades is going to be commencing soon. I promise. It's going to. We need to save trades because we're still fucking languishing in 20,000. So the only real way for us is to, come home strong and try to catch up at the end, but we need to start saving them. But the dummy halves I think are pretty set. Getting Grant in at some point is ideal, but like at the moment it's not like he's really commanding. He's not commanding to get in at all. Like is Robson more expensive than Grant as is? I need to see what is I think Robson. Yeah, he's far more expensive. Wade Egan, 666. Harry Grant, 660. Reed Marnie, look at he's averaging 59. Like, all the other dummy halves are actually going pretty well. Like, Robson, almost 70. Egan, 67. Reed Marnie, 66. Jerry Marshall King, mid-60s. Even a Blake Brayley, he's averaging 60. Cook, Coruscant. Yeah. But yeah, there's no, he is, I could make money from the trade now, but I'm not going to. Fuck, it's, honestly, I'm looking at it and part of me, I've got to be honest, part of me is like, am I ever going to be able to do Robson to Grant and make money from the trade again this season? And I sort of think no. Like, Robson obviously has started great, right? He's made almost 150,000. He now takes on Penrith, which is tough. But then he does have a pretty good run. He's got Dolphins, Gold Coast, South, Tigers, and then he probably, does he play Origin? I don't know. I that's the thing. We don't know what Maguire is thinking with the dummy halves. Like, I think Coruscant is a lock for Origin, but is he gonna go with 2 dummy halves, or would he go with someone like more of a utility? We don't know. That's probably the only thing that's sort of swaying me from doing this, because honestly, I was not even thinking about trading Robson to Grant now, but I gotta be honest, I'm like, it's tempting. I gotta be honest, it's really tempting, because Robson now has a break even 118. What's Harry Grant's though? Grant's got a break even of 100, so he's probably gonna, unless he kills it this week, he's gonna lose money as well. So I don't need to do it this week. Grant is definitely more likely to hit his break even than Robson, but because who have they got? They got South, Gold Coast, Sharks, Parramatta. This is God. The more I look at it, because he's obviously going to play Origin, but it's actually their buys are pretty good, because they got to buy him around 13, so he wouldn't have played anyway. And then I know they play Newcastle late. He gets a decent sort of recovery from that. I can't be. Oh man, I've thrown myself into a tiz with this. No, I think just hold strong for now. I'm so tempted now. Holy shit. Because I do feel like Grant is eventually going to hit his straps. I know he hasn't been great, but I definitely didn't think I'd be getting Robson to Grant and making money from the trade. But it could happen. But let's go through before I waste all my time on dummy halves, which I didn't want to do. Then we got the front row. So obviously the doggies are on the bye, so that means no Josh Curran. Terrell May, it's fine. Liam Henry will come in for Josh Curran. We already talked about it, but we'll talk about it later with the captaincies that Liam Henry, it works out fine because the Panthers play pretty late in the round. The back row, I mean, Ali Katoa, Crichton are certainties. Pierce Paul, I mean, he's a certain stuff. We'll just put our best there for now, and then we'll change it depending on when they play. But Katoa, Pierce Paul, Crichton, I think are locks. Fermor, Smithies, Lane, I don't know. There's such like 50-50s every week that I would love to trade. Yeah, I would love to trade one of these guys to a genuine gun that I play every week with certainty. But yeah, at the moment it's fine. Like, they're still making money, they're still doing a job for me, so it is what it is. And obviously Lane covers the buys really well, so he's good to go. I mean, let's have a look. Fermor, what does Fermor cover? Because this will dictate it. Fermor, he doesn't play round 13, so he plays 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, misses 13, plays 14, which is handy. Then he plays 15, 16, misses 17. Then he plays 18, 19, 20. Morgan Smithies. Yeah, Smithies might be the guy, honestly, because he plays the bye, though. He plays 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, but he misses 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, misses 19. I don't know. They're both pretty similar, honestly. I don't know. It's just going to depend, like, probably who's made the most money and who's got the low break even, really. Like, Fermor potentially could lose money this week. Probably both of them. Fermor, he's still got a 46 break even, so might be good. Smithies, he's got a 41. Okay, so they're both actually probably going to make a bit more, which is good. The halfbacks, okay, so this is the big one. Nathan Cleary has been named, and honestly, I'm bringing him straight back in. Like, for me personally, like, honestly, I don't see a world where you don't go early, or not even early, but you don't get Cleary in straight away. I understand, like, he's coming off a hemi and the risk of reoccurrence is there, but, like, for one, they're not going to risk him, and two, like, I don't know. I think because I'm sitting, like, pretty low still, getting in Cleary early it's just beneficial because he's a guy that can swing it really quickly in your favor. He's a massive captaincy shout this week against the Cowboys. So I think for me, and even, I don't know, even like if you're in the top echelon, I could see being a little bit cautious, but I still think get him in. The question though is, who do we trade out? So Luke Brooks obviously seems like the obvious choice, but it's not necessarily. Because we have two options. We can go Luke Brooks straight to Nathan Cleary, which seems great. Or we can go where we can trade out a centre winger. Probably looking at it, we would trade out Schiller, right? He's made a bulk bit of cash. He's made over 250,000, 234. His break-even is 43, so his break-even's still not too bad. He could definitely hit that and make a little bit more cash, but I do think Schiller is a guy to go. I mean, yeah, he does cover 13, but you're probably not keeping Schiller to round 13. I mean, I don't know. They don't have a terrible draw, but they're also now missing Fogarty, which I think is pretty bad. I wouldn't mind seeing Schiller play this week just to see how they look without Fogarty, how their attack looks, because it's not Sharks is tough, but then Manly, Dogs, Roosters, Dolphins in the bye would be nice, I guess. But yeah, out of the back line, I do think Schiller. I mean, granted, you could trade Tuivasa-Sheck. I mean, he's been a bit underwhelming, but I do think he's just a solid 50-point scorer, so I don't know. I still don't really. I don't really see the point in trading Tuivasa-Sheck. at the moment. So I think for me, Schiller would be the guy to go. So we would trade Schiller, we'd swing Strange back to centre wing and Brooks back to 5'8". But do I do that? I mean, Brooks has been disappointing. Like, he has been. He's got a 66 break even, so he's probably going to lose more money. Like, he does have a couple of good games. Like, he takes on Parramatta, who have been awful. Then Canberra, who are without Fogarty. Then the Dolphins. So it's a good 3-week play. And then you would want to get rid of him because it's Broncos, Melbourne, and then after the bye, it's Penrith. So I think... Do you keep Brooks for 3... If I'm looking at it, if I keep Brooks for 3 weeks, then I guess the plan would be... If I did the Schiller trade, you'd keep Brooks for 3 weeks, and then after that, you would trade him to probably Dylan Brown, right? You'd trade Brooks to Dylan Brown to basically the end of the season and to cover the buys. I don't hate it, but I think you just trade Brooks, right? I think you do. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems annoying because I feel like I keep thinking that Brooks has a game where he's going to go big. He just doesn't. So I guess part of me is like, surely he's got a game in the next couple of weeks where he's going to bang out a big one, but it's probably just not worth the hold. I think, he's done a job for me. Making the money from Brown to him still worked out pretty well for us, but I think you just do Brooks to Cleary. It's the most obvious trade. Nathan Cleary, he's coming off a big score as well, so his break even's only 80. Like, I've seen people say that like he could lose money, but like he might not. Like, he's coming up against the Cowboys. He's coming off a 121 against the Bronx. So yeah, I don't know about that. I think we'll just do this for now. I mean, I'm definitely getting in Cleary. It still leaves 300k in the bank, which is fucking beautiful for us. Fantastic. So that looks really good now. We got our big boys back in action. We got the gun 5/8 of Strange and Galvin, which is fine. They're fine for now. I mean, if we look, I'm not trading Strange, but if we look at, let's look at Dylan Brown for a second. I mean, Matt Burton is killing it. He's averaging 3 round of 102 and 5 round of 81. I mean, his average for this year is still only 67, so he didn't start great, but he's, oh my god, if you took the punt on him, he's been on fire. But I don't know, I can't. I mean, he's on the bye this week anyway. You wouldn't be bringing him in, but he's been killing it. Any other five? Let's just look at the 5/8 for a second. Dylan Brown, he's averaging under 60. Thomas Dearden, I mean, he was a potential guy at the start of the year. He's averaging, about the same. Ethan Strange, Luke Brooks, Mam, Luke Keary, Flanagan, Cody Walker. Oh my god, Cody Walker is going to lose so much money. Isaiah Katoa, he's been killing it, but I wouldn't be getting him in. I mean, Lucky Galvin's killing. I mean, okay, Max Price only 382. Okay, I honestly thought he'd be like over 400k. I'm not trading Strange to Plath, but just looking at it, Plathy. Okay. I thought he was actually going to be more expensive than this. So I was like, okay, like he's coming off a big score. Like, he got 94. He scored 2 tries. He played 70 minutes, but I got to be honest, he's looking really, really good. It does worry me, the 46 minutes he only scored 30 points. That's the thing with him. Like, 380k, it is much more tempting, but I feel like he's a guy... He's going to make a bunch more cash, obviously, but I feel like he's a guy that's going to get, 50 points. 45 to 50 points, I think, is pretty respectable and pretty locked in for him. I think the Dolphins look really good when he's on the field. He's getting through his work. It showed on the weekend that he was always there for support if there was a potential sniff opportunity. But 380k is actually, I thought he was going to be like 440. So I was a bit like, you could still bring him in, but it's a little bit meh. But 380,000, shit. That's jumped up a little bit, but we were more going to look at Brown because I was going to look at Brown. So he's got a 51 break even now. They take on. They got to buy in round 9, so you're definitely not bringing Brown in this week. They take on Manly, then they got to buy. Then it's a couple of tough games. So Broncos, Melbourne. And then, I mean, if you're looking at Brown, I think round 12 is the perfect spot to get him. And I guess that actually works out for what I was saying. If I traded Schiller and then I kept Brooks for 2 more weeks, then I trade Brooks for Brown in round 12, that actually works out pretty well. But I could do the same thing. Yeah, I could do the same thing with Schiller. I think the thing is, Schiller's probably more likely to make money than Brooks. So I think keep Schiller. Yeah, I think Schiller's more likely to make money than Luke Brooks. Maybe. I mean, Schiller could come out and score 20 this week and then be set to lose a stack of cash and be a bit of a pain in the ass. So I'm undecided on that, honestly. Now I'm undecided. Because I do think getting Brown in at round 12 is, like, beautiful. I mean, you could get him in a week early. It's not, like, the worst thing in the world, but I don't mind it. Yeah, okay. That's, I don't know. Do you trade Brooks or fucking Schiller, dude? I'm torn. But let's go through the rest of it at the moment. So the back line, I'm still pretty okay with the back line. Obviously, we're going to play Taylor May over Schiller. The Sharkies, they take on Canberra, so I think Cleary is sensational to play. Jacob Gagai is starting, near beauty. He might only score 10 points, but that's fine. Well, it's not fine if he's my AE, but we'll see what happens. And then, yeah, that's pretty much. I think my backline's looking pretty good. Obviously, we still need a couple of guns, like a couple of better backline players, but if we could just get a bit of luck in Taylor May to actually do something and Tuivasa-Sheck to do something in the same weeks, then we could like catch up on these guys that keep getting low maxes, hundreds and shit like that. But we'll see if that ever happens. And then Pappenhausen and Ponga. So here is the other big decision, right? Because obviously Ponga is a trade out. But for me, there's 2 options. Okay, we'll look at this. Obviously, everyone's like, you trade him out this week. And yes, fair enough, right? Okay. Right. So Dylan Edwards, no, I'm not going Dylan Edwards. He's going to lose the goal kicking. He's been great, but not going there. Scott Drinkwater is definitely very, very high on the priority. But the problem is that, I mean, he's got 156 break even for one, and they take on Penrith this week. So, like, it doesn't mean he's not going to score well against Penrith, but like, there's definitely a higher chance that he's going to have a low score against Penrith, and he's not going to hit his break even. It's not so much about the money, but like, if I can save the trade this week, then obviously I can make more money from the trade from Ponga to Drinkwater, which is nice. Like, it is nice just to be able to make a bit of money from a trade. And then also, I might not get a low score, because if I bring in Drinkwater, like, I'm obviously going to play him. Even if it's against Penrith, you're going to play your $900,000 fullback. Like, otherwise, why would you bring him in this week? So, if he does have a shocker, then we could get a low score. So do you save it? Then, if you look, I mean, don't get me wrong, I am sort of half tempted by Tommy, but looking at Luke Brooks, like, he's got 3 good games, like Parramatta, Canberra, Dolphins, and I guess granted, these 2 games are at 4 Pines Park where he just scores great. He just does. But then it's the Broncos at Suncorp, Melbourne at 4 Pines Park, but then it's Origin, and then it's Penrith after Origin, which I know he scored 100 against last time, but will he back up? Then he's Origin. I wouldn't want Tommy over Origin anyway, so I think I can't go back to Tom. I still think the trade from Tom to Pappenhausen it didn't work out well, but I still stand by my decision that I thought Tom was a trade out over Origin anyway. I just decided to do it early in the hopes that Pappenhausen kept on killing it and Tommy maybe dropped a little bit, but it didn't happen. But I'm not bringing back Tom Trbojevic now. I think you just gotta pray that he doesn't do too well. And then the only other guy that a lot of people are going to be bringing in is Reece Walsh. He is at a really juicy price. You got Ruben Garrick as well. What is he? He's 608. He's got a 150 break even. Oh, Ruben Garrick. He is going to be a juicy prospect. But, I just went through the Seagulls lineup. He doesn't actually have a great draw. Do you bring in Garrick? I don't know. Obviously not this week for me, but when he loses money next week, just looking at Garrick, do you actually bring him in for round 9 or even round 10? Canberra could be a good matchup, and then Dolphins, but then, it's Broncos, Melbourne, bye, so he doesn't even cover round 13. Then they take Penrith. Then, granted, looking at this, ideally, you'd probably bring him in round 15. All things going well, and if he hasn't skyrocketed in price or anything like that, round 15 looks juicy. Even though the Dragons are actually going pretty well. Round 15, he plays 16. He misses 17, but then 18, 19, 20. He's great for the rest of this season. So put that in your little journal. Ruben Garrick, round 15. It's a long way away, but I don't know. I think Garrick is a guy he could be a bit of a issue trading in after he's lost all that cash, which is it's a bit of an awkward timing for it because the price is going to be so juicy, but I don't think the matchups are really good. But getting back to the fullbacks, which was the main thing. You got Brimson, but you'd pick him up in centre wing, obviously. But Reece Walsh, so coming off 110, he's obviously going to start making money again. He has got a good draw coming up. It's pretty good. West, Roosters, Parramatta, Manly, Gold Coast. He'll play Origin, but he misses anyway, and then he'll back up against Sharks. It's actually pretty good for him with Origin because they have the bye in round 13 and 16, so he would have missed those games anyway. I gotta be honest, I'm much more keen on Drinkwater than Walsh. It is not making 200 odd thousand is great. I don't know. I don't know. But I do think having Drinkwater for the bye is going to be so massive. That's the thing. I'm torn. So basically, in my mind at the moment, my 2 options, I go Reece Walsh this week. And it makes me a bunch of cash, and Walsh could kill it. He will lose this. It's good and bad. He will lose the goal. Well, he might. I don't know. Reynolds obviously has had some leg issues. So does Walsh continue the kicking because of the injuries to Reynolds? He might or might not lose the goal kicking. Let's just say he will at the moment, but. The plus side is that he'll have Reynolds and Payne Haas back in the team, which just makes their go forward and their attacking structures so much better for Walsh to play off. So there's obviously positives there. So I go straight to Walsh, or my other option in my mind is don't go Drinkwater this week. I think if I'm going to go Drinkwater, I'm just going to hold the trade, which I know sounds ridiculous, but I think just hold the trade, hope the Drinkwater has a bit of a shocker, and loses a bunch of cash, and then bring him in next week, because I still think, like, I mean, looking at his, honestly, looking at his scores, fuck, it's thrown me off. He's gone. He went 48-62, 105 against Dragons, 77 against Bronx, and then 144 against the Titans. But that's the Titans. He only went 61 against Parramatta and 57 against the Sharks, which, I mean, granted, the Sharkies flogged them, and he still scored 57 points. But, then you look at the draw. It's Dolphins, which is great. Gold Coast, which is amazing. Rabbitohs, which should be pretty good still. Tigers. But then it's the Roosters in round 13. That's actually not that good. Oh, man. Okay, now I'm fucking... Oh, maybe you just go Walsh, dude. I think you just go Walsh. I don't know. Looking at that, I'm like... They play Roosters. Like, Roosters are going to be missing Tedesco. Probably. I mean, who knows? I mean, Tedesco might not even get picked. But you would say Tedesco, and then that's it. I mean, Dylan Napa will get picked for Queensland. But they'll be pretty much full strength. Like, Manu will be at fullback. Like, it's... And then the Cowboys will be missing Val Holmes, Talangi, potentially, Nanai... Cotter, I don't really want the Cowboys in round 13 anyway. Okay, I think Walsh. I actually do think it's Walsh then. Yeah. Is there anyone else? Like, I do think Walsh is a slam dunk. It's just that everybody's going to go in. Well, not everybody. Like, I do think, I'm not going to go Tommy. As much as I'm like, I sort of want to, I shouldn't, because I still think I'm going to want to trade him out over Origin anyway. I don't want to make another trade for it. Gutherson, obviously not. Yeah, I think you just go Walsh. As much as it's a boring trade, like, I think it's the right one. It does mean we got now like almost 600k in the bank, which is beautiful again. So that's also a plus. I'm like 100% I'm not using a boost. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely some guys that attempt, like I said, Max Plath was actually a lot more tempting now. He's only 380k, but I don't think it's boost worthy. I want to save those 2 boosts. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's fine. I mean, the only thing with it, I guess not. We won't have a fullback for round 13, which doesn't matter because looking at it, like, yeah, Drinkwater without a lot of his Cowboys boys against a pretty stacked Roosters team still, he's pretty much the only good fullback that's playing round 13 anyway that's not on Origin. So I think that's fine. Like, you don't have to. So I think, and even like an out-of-pocket pick like Chansey, the Warriors don't play round 13 anyway. So like I think this is the best case scenario. So that is, I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna try to. I guess the only other choice that I have to make now is if I do I trade out Brooks, just go straight Brooks to Cleary, or do I trade out James Schiller and swing Brooks down to 5'8" and Strange down to centre wing? We could do that as well, but I don't think it's not that important. yeah, I don't think it's not necessary. So I think that's fine. Because honestly, next week, yeah. Okay, before we get to like next week, let's just have a quick look at sit starts, and then captain vice captains, because we definitely have some options now. So sit starts, obviously we'll play Robson. Well, they take on Penrith. Do you just not? I mean, this is why I was sort of like, what? I was sort of wanting to not trade and hold off on going to Drinkwater because I wanted to go Robson to Grant as my second trade. But I still think, oh man, now I'm fucking. I don't know. No, I think as much as it looks good to do. Oh, but man, the Melbourne have such a good draw coming up too. That's the thing. Like, I feel like Grants is about to explode. I do feel like Grants is about to go and have a couple of big ones, right? They got Rabbits, Gold Coast, Sharks, Parramatta, Manly, bye, Newcastle. The Cowboys have a good draw as well. Like, it's just a tough one now against Panthers, then Dolphins, Gold Coast, South, Tigers. If he might not play Origin, I think just hold off. I think hold off. Don't worry about Grant. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Grant. I guess as well, like, Grant's not really looking to run, like, nearly as much. I feel like the Storm, especially now with Pappenhausen back, they have so many attacking threats that, like, Grant doesn't really get the chance to run as much. Like, he needs to pass to Hughes, he needs to pass to Munster, he needs to go to Pappy, so I just don't think, I don't think you do. I think you just hold Robson. Because at the end of the day, Robson will lose cash. Honestly, I'm torn. I mean, this is one of those 50-50 ones that I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I definitely don't use a boost for it. It's just a matter of if I wanted to change Walsh. No, I still think Walsh is the play over looking at Drinkwaters. I don't know. We'll have a look at. Fucking, I don't know. Dude, I'm so every week. I thought this was going to be a boring trade week, but I'm like, I'm so torn. I'm so torn. Who do the Knights play? The Knights play the Dolphins. Fuck, do you play Brayley over Robson? I don't think so. I still think you play Robson. Like, the Panthers are obviously, I think the Panthers are going to put a score on them, but Robson will probably make 50 tackles still and probably a little bit more dangerous than Brayley. The Fort, let's just quickly go through this and then we might have a fucking another look at it. How long have we been going? 30 minutes. So we got time to ponder. We still got time. Terrell May, Liam Henry obviously starting. Back row, Ali Katoa, Pierce Paul, Crichton, Hines, Cleary, yes, obviously. Strange and Galvin. So who... The Tigers play the Bronx, so I'm not playing Galvin. And then Canberra play Sharks. It's See, this is why I'm like somewhat tempted to do Schiller instead of Brooks, because Brooks plays Parramatta at Four Pines. I would rather play Brooks in my favour, in my 5-8 spot over Galvin and Strange this week, if I'm honest. Especially with Fogarty being out, I am a little worried about Strange going forward. I mean, honestly, we could be looking. I thought Strange could be a keeper, but honestly, with the news of Fogarty, he could be a trade out to Brown pretty soon, if I'm honest. But that's why I am sort of keen on going Schiller instead of Brooks fuck, I don't know. There's too many bloody 50-50s. And then the back line, obviously, I mean, we're playing Holmes, even though it's against Penrith. We just got to. Tuivasa-Sheck, we're playing against the Gold Coast, yes. Taylor May, absolutely. And then Kaoliro, 100%. And then Pappy and Walsh. And then our reserves, obviously, we got Walsh, Cleary. I guess it's, yeah, we'll go, I still like Sean Lane. I think he's probably the most likely to score a try out of our back rowers. And then Fermor or Smithies. I don't know. It's such a 50-50, bro. It's such a 50-50 one. I don't know. Fucking Smithies. It's a Thursday, 2 p.m. GIO. I don't know. We'll go Fermor for now, just because I don't have a real reason. Just because we don't know the minutes for Smithies. Obviously, he had fewer minutes last week, but does that mean he has more minutes this week? Probably. He played fucking 80 and then 90, bro. That's insane. So yeah, he's probably due for a few more minutes. They probably need him to as well. So yeah, we might switch it to Smithies, but that's the sit start. Okay, so let's have a quick look at some play. I'm keen to see a couple of guys. That's right. I was going to look at semi-final as well. Yeah, that's why I was that's the other reason I was keen to just save the trade on not go Walsh, but save the trade and go Drinkwater next week, because it would have left me without having to boost, be able to get in someone that was a little bit of a luxury. But let's have a look. Where is semi-final? Where is he? Okay, so he's still only 355k as well. Oh man, that is tempting. Shit. He's got a 37 break even, so he's actually not an urgent pickup. He must have a low score. Yeah, okay, so he only got the 12 in 17 minutes. What did he do there? Oh, that's right, he got the head knock. That's why. But then he's been playing good minutes. Like, that's the other thing. And now he's playing on the edge. I guess on the edge, like, his base stats might be a little bit lower. So, yeah, I do think you can wait on him also against the Broncos. He'll probably make cash this week, but you can probably also wait and see on sort of what they're thinking. Having a look at... Actually, this is interesting. I've never really looked at this too closely, but let's... So the most traded in... So, Kalen Ponga to Reece Walsh, yeah, understandable, 10%. Luke Brooks to Cleary, pretty understandable. Kalen Ponga to Max Plath, that's a lot of duels in there. Kalen Ponga to Klokstad. I don't know. I don't really love the Klokstad pickup, if I'm honest. Kalen Ponga to Jabojevic. Yeah. If you're like me and you didn't start with Jabojevic, then I could understand it. Luke Brooks to Hines, understandable. Hutchison to Cleary. Ponga to Simi Sasangi. I still think Sasangi is a bit of a trap. Yeah, he's got the starting back row spot and he's a cheapie, but like Elliot Whitehead was due back this week, but he could be back next week. I think Sasangi's going to be a bit of a trap in a week or two. Ponga to Edwards, yeah, I mean I'm not going Edwards, but I can understand it. And then Ponga to Trey Fuller. He's going. People are going early on the cheapie. I mean, it gives you a lot of money, that's for sure. And I mean, Trey Fuller. I mean, like I said, he's got a good draw coming up, and he plays round. He's the one fullback that plays round 13. And who do they play in round 13? Who do they play? Because they play, yeah, I mean, it's Knights, Cowboys, Manly, Tigers, Warriors, and then Canberra. I think you can just watch him, though. You can watch him another week before you do that trade. Let's have a look in the top 1%, what they're doing. I didn't change too much. I mean, Ponga. Schiller to Walsh. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, so you got Max Plath. I think out of Finu and Plath, I mean, Plath is probably the more pressing trade. I just don't think if I'm looking, like, if I was going to do what I said, hold off the trade, save a trade and not go Drinkwater this week but next week, and I had that trade on my sleeve, who would I rather trade? Would I rather trade Robson to Grant, or would I rather trade Smith? Who would I rather trade? In the back row as well, who would I rather trade? Fermor or Smithies? Probably Fermor, I think. Fermor to Plath or Finu. Probably Plath. I mean, if I'm looking at it like that, I would rather trade Robson to Grant. So I think for me, Plath and probably Finu. I mean, maybe Finu next week. But I think Plath is a guy that's just going to get away from me. And I think that's fine. Like, he's going to make good cash, but I still think at the end of the day, I think he's more like 45 to 50 points. He could prove me wrong, and if he keeps playing like massive minutes, then he's going to be an absolute stud because he's a worker. He's got a bit of attack in him, but I think that's fine. Like, it would have been nice, but I don't think, if I had the trade, I would rather go Robson and Grant. So that's that. So I've done the trades, but like I said, they're not locked in. I'm still so fucking undecided. Do I go Walsh or Drinkwater? And if I go Drinkwater, then I can bring Robson to Grant. And do I do that? Do I do Robson and Grant? And the other one is, do I go Luke Brooks or do I go Schiller? I don't know. I don't know. Because I think Brooks. There's a couple of things. Like I said, I would rather play Brooks this week over Strange and Galvin. So that's one thing, right? It doesn't mean that Brooks is going to score. I mean, Strange or Galvin could kill it and go better than Brooks. Like, obviously, my 50-50s have not gone in my favor, but just first thoughts, like, yeah, at 4 Pines Park, I would rather play Brooks than Strange and Galvin. So that's one thing. But then also, I think, yeah, Brooks is, I mean, his break-even is higher than Schiller's this week. So on the basis of that, yeah, Brooks is more likely to lose a bit more cash. But Schiller now has a 35 in his rolling average. He takes on the Sharks, which I think is a tough game, especially without Fogarty. And then Manly, and then the Dogs, and then the Roosters. Honestly, all those games could be pretty hard. Like, the Dogs have been outstanding defensively. The round 13, yeah, it looks good, but I'm definitely not keeping Schiller to round 13. There's no shot. So, you know what? I rescind. And people, I'm sure people will disagree in the comments, and I fully understand that. I get it, but I actually think fucking hold Brooks. Can you? He hasn't done it for me. We trade Schiller. We swap Strange. We swap Brooks. And then we trade in Nathan Cleary. What am I doing? What have I done? What's happened? Has that worked? Is that right? Yeah, that's done it. Okay, that's right. I don't necessarily... At the end of the day, I don't think this is going to be like a huge swing either way. I mean, the only thing that could happen is if Schiller scores like 2 tries this week. I know it happened with Bostock, but is it going to happen again? It definitely could, but I'm definitely not that... I just don't think it will. I think the Sharks are looking good. I wouldn't be shocked if Schiller starts losing some cash. And, yeah, I think I prefer this. Because then, Luke Brooks, so like I said, he's got 2 good games coming up. He's got Parramatta, which, I mean, granted, I do think Parramatta are going to come out and, like, surely they got to fire up this game. They're going to be better than they've been, but... I don't know. It's at 4 Pines Park. I do worry. And then Manly play Canberra at 4 Pines Park. And then they play Dolphins, which is at Suncorp, which they're all good games. And Brooks surely can do something. I don't know. I think this is what I'm going to do. And then, like I said, with Brown's draw gets really good after round 12, so it's like a perfect swap on like round 12 or 13. I can't remember exactly, but Brooks straight to Dylan Brown I think is sensational. So yeah, I think I'm locked into that. I think this looks a bit better. It also strengthens the centre wing, I think, as well, because Schiller is a little bit dicey to play, but I think Strange most weeks I would like to play him, just not in this game against the Sharkies, especially not really knowing how they're going to play without Fogarty and now Kale Weeks there, Chevy Stewart at the back. It's a little dicey, I think, at the moment for the Raiders, but I think that's what we're doing for now. I don't mind it. I think I'm just going to hold the Walsh. I think I'm going to hold Robson. I don't know. I could make a last fucking effort to switch, but I don't think I will. But I could. I've done some silly things in the past, but I think that's fine. But looking forward, so, okay, we now have 29 trades left. We have to start saving trades. So every position's pretty good, I think. Right? So, obviously, we can't account for injuries. That's fine. It's going to happen. But going forward, I mean, our front row, I think, is pretty locked in. I mean, yeah, it could definitely improve, but that's later in the season when we got some trades to spare. It's locked in for now. I'm fine. The dummy halves are fine. I mean, yes, the Robson to Grant, but the longer you wait, like, the less likely you're going to do it over Origin. But we'll see. Robson might not even make Origin, so we'll see what happens there as well. The back row, I mean, it's good. Like, we've got a great bit of depth in the back row, like, if something happens. But at the same time, I definitely want either a premium, or next week we might bring in like a semi-final. If he's got the back row spot again, then he could come in, because I think he could be a bit of a stud out there, but we'll see. Other than that, like I said, yeah, I would like a premium back row option as well, to go with like an Ali Katoa and probably a Kai Pearce-Paul, and potentially Crichton, I think, could be a premium. So I don't know, do we need that many premiums? I don't know, maybe not. Especially with Origin coming up. Our halfbacks are locked in now. I mean, we'll see what happens. But over Origin, I don't know. Obviously, Cleary's going to get selected. Does Hines get selected? He may do. I don't really know what's going to happen there with the 5'8" spot. I mean, obviously, Luai's there. I don't think Moses will be back. So it's probably out of Hines and Luai for the 5'8" spots, I think. I think that's pretty much the only two. I mean, Cody Walker's there, but he's not been playing well enough. 5'8", obviously Brooks to Dylan Brown in a couple of weeks, but it's not pressing. It's not an urgent trade. Lockie Galvin's good to go, making money. Our fullbacks... The fullbacks are locked in. It's just a matter of if I'm if I'm going Walsh or Drinkwater. And then our backline, I mean, Holmes, last year I kept Holmes over Origin and he repaid me. I think I'm just going to do the same thing this year. I don't think I'm going to trade him. Tuivasa-Sheck, I mean, yeah, he could go at some point. Taylor May, we're going to keep. Kale Ero, he's a keeper. Ethan Strange could be a guy to go. Talangi, Jacob Gagai. We'll see, but yeah, I mean, looking forward now, like honestly, I'm not really. It's only really semi-final or a premium back rower, but more pressing. I think next week we might save 2 trades, or if we do 1 trade, it might just be either final or a premium centre winger, and it could be strange if the Raiders are starting to look a little shaky. Or it could be, Tuivasa-Sheck because he doesn't play round 13 anyway. So it could be Roger. It definitely could be. We got enough money. I mean, it could even be Talangi. Like, we got 500k in the bank. We could go Talangi up to anyone. So, yeah, I think we're locked in. And honestly, now I think we're looking pretty good to save a few trades in the next couple of weeks. It's only, like I said, it's only Dylan Brown, I think, to get back in about round 12 or 13. I'd love to get in another premium center winger, and then the back row. Yeah, like if someone pops up or a premium guy. Let's have a quick squiz. Actually, let's have a quick squiz at. I mean, let's have a look. Lomax. I mean, he's very expensive. Oh my god, I got a. Holy shit. Oh, that was close. I had a cramp forming in my hamstring. I was sitting really weird on the chair, and it was close. It was close to forming, and that would have been a nightmare. I just stretched it out before it happened, so we're good. But Lomax, does he play round 13? He does. It is against Penrith though, but Penrith will be missing a bunch of players. Okay, I mean Lomax, he's on the I mean any gun centre winger that plays the bye is definitely like high on the list, just because having like a big potential score for a loop or the captaincy is going to be huge for the bye. So Lomax, even though he's very expensive, he's definitely on the list. I guess Joey Manu, like if Tedesco is selected for Origin, then yeah, Joey Manu, he will come in. He plays round 13 against the fucking Cowboys. Okay, I think if Tedesco is selected, I think Manu now skips ahead of Lomax as option for the premium spot. Although I guess, would you go early on Manu? No, because like, for one, he's playing centre and he's not getting as much ball, but also Tedesco's not locked in. He's not locked in for the fullback spot. Lomax, you could go early on because he's just killing it, and I don't really see him stopping anytime soon. Obviously, if the tries dry up, he's not going to go 80 plus, but he's still killing it. Ronnie Mulatalo, he plays round 13, I think. He does against Parramatta, which it's not an easy game necessarily because the Parramatta Eels don't have a lot of Origin players. They also have a really tough draw coming up, or it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. So I don't think I'd be going Mulatalo. Kiraz. Kiraz is the guy. Okay, I almost forgot. Kiraz after the bye, he's locked in. I'm saying right now, Kiraz is locked in. I think he also plays round 13. He does. Yeah, he's locked in. It's depending who I go. But I think he's probably going to be the only trade I make next week because he is. I mean, he's back on the wing. His base stats are incredible. I mean, his scores are a little up and down, but I still love him. I still really like him. He's got the ceiling. He does, I mean, West, but then Penrith is tough, but then Canberra, Dragons, Newcastle. He's got a really good run coming up, so I do like Kiraz. Kiraz and Manu are probably high on the list for trade-ins at some point. But that'll wrap it up. I think we're pretty locked in. It's just a matter of Walsh or Drinkwater, but I don't know. I'll have a better look. I'll have a closer look at what we're going to do there. But yeah, the money's nice. I still think, yeah, the extra 200 odd K. I don't really like Drinkwater in the buy anyway. So I think this is the right idea. So hopefully guys are enjoying the series. Okay, so one more thing before I forget. I thought I would just come back on. I already, unless I cut it out of the ending, I already did the outro. I already said peace out, goodbye, fellas. But I'm back with a couple of things. I completely forgot that I'm too caught up in the possibilities that for one, I completely forgot about doing vice captaincies and captaincies. But also, I was looking at semi-final, and the whole time I didn't say he could be my front row forward. So I still think I'm going to wait on semi-final, but I got to be honest, part of me is a little tempted now to trade. It all dictates on if I don't do Walsh, and if I wait a week, if I save the trade on Drinkwater this week, I could wait a week and use that trade to go Henry to Finu, which I actually like a bit, like quite a bit. I mean, I also could go Sam Hughes straight to Finu, but he's going to make more cash. Liam Henry, I mean, he's got a high break even, but like it's not like he'll lose cash again, but he'll probably get back up to around 300k anyway. I do expect him to average, 30, 35. Hopefully, I just don't know if it's... I do think Henry to Finu, I definitely think it is worth it. It's just a matter of if I want to go Drinkwater over Walsh. And I honestly don't know. I don't know. I gotta ponder it for the next couple of days. I do love the Drinkwater plays 13, but I also don't love the opposition and that sort of stuff. But before I forget again, let's talk about captaincies and vice captaincies. So, this is the other reason why it's sort of nice holding Liam Henry, because I sort of get a free loop, because Henry's, he'll probably be my lowest scorer, or at least around my lowest scorer. So I sort of get the free loop with having Henry there. So, he plays third last game, so anyone before him can be a vice captain. So Warriors Titans, obviously, I mean, with the Sean Johnson and his Achilles sort of issue, if you own Sean Johnson, I don't know, honestly, I don't know, personally, if I own Johnson, I probably would trade straight to Cleary this week. I don't think I could take the risk. It is a great matchup against the Titans, but I think I just want Cleary in. So if people are in that position of having Johnson and do you hold, do you trade? Personally, I would trade, but that's not to say that's the right decision, because, I mean, Johnson could go large against the Titans. They were better last week, but they still leaked a lot of points. The Warriors were awful, so you'd expect a bounce back. I mean, if you own Zalesniak, I think he is a great vice captain. I mean, Chance, if you own him, I think is also a fantastic vice captain. Dragons, Roosters. Honestly, I don't really like anyone in this one. These games are usually pretty physical. They're pretty tough. I mean, I guess Lomax he's always going to be a decent vice captain option just with his form lately, but I don't know. I mean, I expect the Roosters to win, but the Dragons have been pretty good. I wouldn't be vice captaining like a Manu. I think there's better options down the list. We get to the Melbourne Storm v Rabbitohs. I mean, the Rabbitohs have been terrible, but they've come off a bye. They should be better. Surely there's a bit of a bounce back factor for the Rabbitohs. It's Melbourne at Amy Park. It's a tough road trip, but yeah, Ryan Pappenhausen or Harry Grant are excellent vice captain options. I'm probably leaning Pappy at the moment, looking at it. Then you've got Manly Parramatta. I mean, again, Tommy Trbojevic, Ruben Garrick, all the likely suspects have a great matchup there. Then Broncos West. I mean, if you go with Walsh, who do I prefer, Walsh or Pappenhausen? That's tough. That is very tough. If for some reason, like if Reynolds is like, if his kicking is not 100% and he gives like if we know for certain that Walsh is going to kick goals over Reynolds, we probably aren't getting, like, there's not going to be a clarification I would expect before the game. But if we knew that he was, I would probably lean Walsh, because we're not going to know, and because, you know, if Reynolds is fit, he probably will goal kick. I probably lean Ryan Pappenhausen, and just because Ryan has let me down so many weeks that I'm just surely he's due for a big score. That's a bit of copium there, but I'm probably leaning towards Pappenhausen over Walsh. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Walsh probably looks better in attack and is a bit more involved than Pappenhausen, so I don't know. That's a 50-50 split. So then the Panthers game. So for me, I've got to do a vice captain before that. So I think it's either Pappy or Walsh if I select him. And they're both very good options. Penrith v Cowboys. I mean, then it's the other 50-50. So you're bringing in Nathan Cleary after the hamstring injury against a pretty terrible Cowboys outfit. Do you chuck the C straight on him? Because then we got Dolphins Knights. Like, I don't know. There's not too many standouts there in either team. There could be some big points, but no standout captaincies. But then you got the Canberra Raiders v Sharkies. Oh man, this is it's not good, because this whole season the 50-50s have not gone our favour. But this is the full 50-50 week right here. You've got Pappenhausen v Walsh as your vice captain, and then you got Nico v Cleary as your captain. Now, on matchups, I probably prefer Cleary, but there's always, I don't know, in the back of your mind, there's always that slight hesitation with a hamstring injury. Is he going to goal kick? Probably, again, if he's fit. Like, surely they're not bringing him back like 100% fit, so he should be goal kicking, but there's always the risk. He's done it before. But then Nico Hines, he's a great shout as well. Obviously back in form. No Braden Trindle, should be getting like bulk ball. It is GIO Stadium, so it's never an easy matchup. But without Fogarty, without his kicking game, I think the Raiders I think they're susceptible to the Sharkies. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. At the moment, I'm probably leaning Hines just because of the safety, but Cleary could come back and absolutely go crazy in this game. Like, again, in footy, there's always a bounce back factor, and I do think the Cowboys will show up in this one. I think they'll be a lot better playing at their home turf. It's not the easiest, It's not an easy match to take to other, Sydney and stuff like that. But like, even the best teams going to Townsville, it's not an easy road trip for sure. So I'm probably leaning Hines. I'm probably leaning Pappenhausen and Hines, but I could switch with Cleary. That's a tricky one, but I think that's pretty much done and dusted. I still have a couple of decisions to make, but I don't know. Please, Supercoach gods, I need to get a bit of a roll on here. I think the team is looking good. I'm pretty happy with how things are shaping up. I just need a couple of big scores, a couple of big juicy captain. We got a good one last week, but we need another one to back it up. So hopefully you guys are enjoying. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.